In the course of Sex and the City's original 6-season run, over 100 men took their bow. Some were good. Most were the worst. But who takes home the gold in the Loser Olympics? Welcome to the Krusty Fox, and today we're going dumpster diving for New York's least eligible bachelors with the 10 worst Sex and the City men to ever disgrace our screens. Like the of an elderly sitter, you were probably expecting this to be a bit higher, weren't you? Novelist Berger usually gets it in the neck for his breakup via post-it note with Carrie, but I reckon that's arguably the least of his crimes. Plus, my own personal past contains not one, but 2 dumpings via MSN Messenger, so everything's relative. No, Berger makes this list for his startling insecurity alone. Not only is he incapable of sharing a career with Carrie without making it a competition, but he can't even take constructive criticism, after literally asking for it. Which you might forgive if he were any good. But since he'd probably struggle to win a short story contest and a Coma Award, he can get in the bin. While Barkley was one of the series' very first menfolk, he left an aftertaste with the minging payload of a durian fruit smoothie. The best you can say about him is that he's extremely upfront about his predilection for secretly filming his sexual encounters, to be used later as part of his questionable art. Which is unlikely to hold much sway with the judge while they're passing sentence, or his future cellmates while they're passing him around like a dog toy. Now, music producer Chivon was a nice guy, and he and Samantha had a great thing going. But he slides into this list because of his disturbingly compliant reaction when his sister Adina objects to their new relationship, which comes so close to being about racial purity that she could give it a colonoscopy.
Hello, Peter.
Your sister wants to f*** you, my guy. Be more bothered. On the face of it, Mitch has a lot to offer a lady. Presuming she's looking for a man who'll service her canker blossom like an itchy dog going at its knackers. And given what I'm led to believe is a shortage of straight men who'll do it and do it right, that on its own isn't a problem. However, refusing to do anything but tongue dart Cupid's cupboard isn't exactly what I'd call a green flag. Nor is Mitch's penchant for aggressively demonstrating his legendary prowess in public and on whichever inanimate object happens to be within arm's reach. I'll never look at a fig the same way again. Crabs. Before the dawn of the incel, first came Skipper. Website creator, stalker, twat. Eternally convinced that he's the nicest guy in the world, despite looking and sounding like he leaves a sticky film on everything he touches, he was another of our early glimpses into Sex and the City's generally nihilistic outlook on men. While Miranda did knowingly mess him around, his sopping wet reaction to everything kind of makes you wish he'd gone further.
That's the problem. I'm too nice, I'm a romantic. I just have so much feeling. F off.
Plus, he broke up with a girlfriend while Honk the Magic Goose was still paddling in the Atlantic Ocean. If you follow. Despite looking good on paper, Charlotte's one-time husband Trey turned out to be his healthier choice as a Cantonese back tattoo. While his inability to perform his husbandly bedroom duties isn't what lands him on the list, his extremely selfish attempts to dodge the issue do. That his eventual solution to the problem is to suggest that his wife f***s the gardener doesn't exactly earn him points either. But Trey's biggest flaw is his incest-adjacent relationship with his mother, Bunny, whose craggy fingerprints end up all over his finances, marriage, family planning, and eventually divorce. Thankfully, they both make their exit from the series before we ever find out whether she could get Schooner to set sail. There's a certain amount of understandable investment you're likely to have when a commitment phobe like Samantha finds a man she's willing to go the distance with. So it was with hotel mogul Richard, Sam's equal in business and in playing the field. So far, so good. There were some early warning signs, however. Firstly, in his woefully chauvinistic disbelief that a woman could do a decent job of his PR.
You might want to consider working with a partner who isn't so emotional.
Like he was being told that a border collie just opened a Michelin-starred restaurant in Soho. Secondly, in his habit of covering up crappy behaviour with extravagant gifts and trips. Which, in Sex and the City, is the clearest possible indication that the man in question is on the brink of revealing that he's actually just 800 assholes in a trench coat. Then there was the cheating, which he justified as a symptom of his own matching fear of settling down. But when the foundation's shaky, your first port of call is supposed to be putting in the work to repair it, not burning down the whole house and f***ing the fireman. You'd probably expect old Mr. Preston to take the top spot, wouldn't you? But no, there's worse yet to come. Only just, mind you, because Mr. Big spent a whole 6 seasons, 2 movies, and 60 seconds of silence on a bathroom floor demonstrating just how many ways there are to be trash garbage. I mean, where do you even start? A commitment incontinent, chronically smug, deceptively insecure infidelity enthusiast whose love life looks like it was directed by Michael Bay. To say nothing of his 2 failed marriages. 3 if you count losing a fight with a peloton as a failure, which I do. It is, in my humble opinion, a massive disservice not just to women but to the entire human race to pretend that Big was anything like an endgame. Unless, of course, you're talking about the kind that involves snapping him out of existence, in which case you have my full support. Our top spot is occupied by none other than Slavic Napoleon Syndrome sufferer Alexander Petrovsky. Just to be clear, he doesn't reach these lofty heights because of the highly manufactured Deus Ex slapanar that flings Carrie back into Big's arms in the series finale. Nor does his nationality play into it, for the record. No, Petrovsky's problems are largely personality-based.
This is the latest I've been up in quite a while. I even had to take a little disco nap. Do you remember those? You were quite the regular at Studio 54. That must have been an amazing time.
The guy is a walking pretension factory, producing the kind of terrible artwork that requires an electron microscope to find its point. Over the years, fans have argued that his honesty around his own narcissism is actually one of his redeeming qualities. To which I say, try blocking a loved one's toilet the next time you visit and see whether their eyes light up with admiration when you deliver the happy news. On top of which, it seems like what some people interpret as a brooding air of mystery, I see as a sinister threat of impending danger. Half the time he looks like he's about to flip upside down and crab walk across the ceiling. No, thank you. So, how many of this motley crew would make it into your top 10? Are any of your favourites in here that you'd swap out for someone else? Is Petrovsky the worst character in fiction? Yes he is. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below anyway. Either way, thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and as ever, if you can't be good, be crusty.